Hey everyone, welcome back to another walkthrough. This walkthrough, we're going to focus on Word, Chapter 7, Park Letter. So let's begin. First, we're going to scroll down to our Week 3, Word Chapter 7, My IT Lab course content. And we'll click on Word Chapter 7. And we will select Word 7G Park Letter Homework. Go ahead and download your materials. Once again, do not download all files. Go ahead and click on each individual file to download it. And go ahead and open your student file. And enable editing if need be. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll in a little bit, make this a little bit easier for us to read. And we are done with step number 1. For step number 2, it wants us to save this file as a macro-enabled document. We're going to learn how to use macros in this particular assignment. Macros enable you to create complex steps, record those steps. That way you can easily redo those steps in future papers. So we're going to go ahead and save it as a macro-enabled document. We're going to hit the File tab and Save As. And right here where it says Word Chapter 7 or Student Word 7G, we're going to hit this down arrow right here where it says Word Document. And we're going to select Word Macro Enabled Document and hit Save. Alright, so now that we're saved as a macro enabled document, we need to show the Developer tab. Let's go to the File tab here. From the File tab, we're going to go down to Options, down here at the very bottom. And we are going to click on Customize Ribbon. And notice over here under our tabs, if you scroll down, there is a Developer tab right here. Put a check mark to enable it and hit OK. And now we should have a Developer tab up here on our toolbar. It says also, if necessary, change your macro security setting to disable all macros with notification. Well, to do that, let's go back to our File tab here. Go all the way back down here to Options. We're going to go to our Trust Center and click on Trust Center Settings. And right here it says Disable all macros with notifications under the macro settings here. From here we want to make sure it does say Disable all macros with notifications. That way we get a notification if we use it. So let's go ahead and hit OK. And go ahead and hit OK. So now, first thing we want to do is insert a file name in the footer. Well, we've done this many a times. Under the Insert tab here, click on Footer, Edit Footer. From the Edit Footer, we're going to come up here to our Insert group, click on Document Info. We're going to click on Field, scroll down to File Name. There it is, and hit OK. Once we have our file name in there, we can go ahead and close out of our header footer. Now it wants us to select the first 4 paragraphs. So we're going to select Magical Park all the way down to the phone number here. Let's select those 4 paragraphs. Once again, if you do not see these paragraph marks, come to the Home tab under the paragraph group. Go ahead and turn this button on here. Then we can see every paragraph mark we have here. Makes it a little easier for us to select the items we need to select. So we want to change the font size to 16. So we'll come to the font group here where it says 11. Let's change that to 16, makes it bigger. We want to apply bold and center. Hopefully we know now the Control key. Hold down Control, hit B we'll bold. And once again, hold down Control and hit E to center. For a Mac user, I believe you use the Command button. Or if you're having trouble, you can just come to the Home tab here, use bold and center. Now we need to deselect our text. So let's just go ahead and click right here on May 1st. And after we deselect our text, we want to display the Record Macro dialog box. So we're going to go to the Developer tab that we just added in. Under the Code group, let's click on Record Macro. And it wants us to name it Header. So let's go ahead and give it a name of Header. We want to make sure we store the macro in all documents. So make sure this says all documents. In the description box, let's type in inserts. Make sure it's capitalized I. Inserts the corporate slogan in the header. So say this was something that you wanted to put in all your documents, you wanted to put a corporate slogan in the header, or if you wanted to put a picture in the header, this would be a good idea to use a macro. That way you don't have to do those steps over and over again. You do it once, use the macro, and it will put it in for us after this. So now we want to assign a keyboard shortcut. So right here where it says keyboard, go ahead and click on keyboard. And it wants us to use Alt-Control-J. So hold down Alt, Control, and J. Go ahead and put in Alt-Control-J as our shortcut. And go ahead and hit Assign. And now, when we hit Close, we are now recording our macro. So everything that we do now is being recorded. So anything that you click on, anything that you highlight, anything that you insert is being recorded. Notice how it says up here, stop recording, pause recording. That means we are now recording. So what we want to do is we want to click on the Insert tab. So let's go up here to our Insert tab. And from our Insert tab, let's go to the Header Footer group right here. And let's go ahead and click on Header. And all the way down here, Edit Header. Once again, everything we are doing is being recorded. It wants us to type always a magical experience with an exclamation point. So let's go ahead and type that in. Always a magical experience. Exclamation point. It wants us to select that text. So let's go ahead and select the text. It wants us to go to the Home tab. So let's go ahead and click on our Home tab. Display the text effects. So if we hover over here, this right here is our text effects and topography. Let's click the down arrow next to it. And it says in the second row, the second effect. So second row, second effect. This gradient fill blue reflection. Now let's go ahead and change the font size to 20. So we'll change the font size to 20 here. And it wants us to center the text. I'm just going to come over here to the paragraph and I'm going to hit the center button. So now let's go ahead and go back to the Header Footer tab here and close Header Footer. Then let's go back to the Developer tab and let's hit Stop Recording. So now what we've done is we just recorded a macro that will put in this always a magical experience in any document that we create. So now that we're done with that, for step number 3, it says select the first 4 paragraphs. So let's go ahead and select the first 4 paragraphs here again. And then from the font dialog box, change the spacing to expanded by 1.5. So we'll come to the Home tab here. Under our font grouping, let's click on the font dialog box right here. And under Advanced, where it says spacing, let's click on Expanded. by, and let's go ahead and change it to 1.5. And hit OK. And notice how it puts a little bit more space in between all of our words and letters. For step number 4, it says select the 7 paragraphs that begin with the featured exhibit. So right here, the featured exhibit, all the way down to outdoor laboratory. We want to change the font size to 14, so let's go to the Home tab under the font group. Let's change this to 14. Now it wants us to select the 6 paragraphs under here, so we're going to deselect it and then reselect Space and Rockets all the way down to Outdoor Laboratory. We want to change it to, or we want to apply bullets. So we'll come up here to the Home tab under our paragraph group. Let's go ahead and just click on this button right here that says bullets. And there it is, we now have bullets, which kind of highlights those featured exhibits. Now it says in the paragraph that begins with our parks, locate the phone number and change the space to a non-breaking hyphen. So as of right now, this right here is our hyphen. It's just a regular hyphen. So if this were at the end of the document, it would split this off, and you'd have half the phone number on one line and half the phone number on the other. A non-breaking hyphen will make it so if this were to split off into two, if it was too big for this line here, the whole thing would move down instead of half of it. So let's go ahead and highlight just that hyphen. We just want to highlight that hyphen. And we want to come up here to our insert. Under insert, we want to come over here to symbols. And we want to click on symbols and more symbols. And we want to find the non-breaking hyphen. It should be under special characters. And right here it is, non-breaking hyphen. So I'm going to go ahead and click on non-breaking hyphen, hit insert, and hit close. So now we have a non-breaking hyphen in here. And it wants us to save our document, so let's go ahead and hit the save button. For step number 5, it wants us to position the insertion point to the right of the paragraph that begins with the featured expedition, following the colon. So let's put our cursor right here after this colon. It wants us to insert a picture that we downloaded, W07G Ride. So let's come up here to our Insert tab. Under Pictures, let's click on Pictures. And from this device, go to your Downloads folder. Here it is. Here's our Downloads folder. And we want to do this one right here, the picture that says W07 Ride. Hit Insert. And it puts this ginormous picture in here. We want to fix that in just a minute. First, we're going to change a few of the effects. So it says display the artistic effects gallery. So under our picture format here, we want to come over here to artistic effects. Click the down arrow. And we want to select the glow diffused effect. So let's find out which one of these is glow diffused. So here is glow diffused. We'll go ahead and click on that. And then from the display the picture styles gallery. So right here's our picture styles. We're going to click the down arrow with the line above it. And we want to select the reflected bevel black picture style. So let's find the reflected bevel black right here. Let's go ahead and click on that. And it looks like it moves our picture down to the bottom. So now for step number 6, it wants to change the wrap text to square. So we're going to come over here to this little dialog box right here. It says layout options. We'll click on that. And we're going to do with text wrapping square. And once that's selected, we want to come to our format picture. We want to come over here to our size grouping. We want to change the picture height to 1.6. Hit enter. And there it is. Our picture has now changed to a more manageable size. Now we want to click on this icon again right here, show our layout options, and click See More. And here we're going to change it so our position is exactly where we want it to be. So under our horizontal alignment, we want to change alignment, and we want to make it right relative to the margin. So alignment right relative to the margin. Then under our vertical, we want to make it an absolute position of 4.5. So 4.5 below the margin. So right here should be absolute position 4.5 below margin. Go ahead and hit OK and watch it flip-flop like a politician all the way down here to this side of the paper. Now we want to select the bulleted list that we created here. So let's go ahead and highlight our bulleted list. And we have some relatively boring bullets here. We're going to put in our own custom bullets. So we're going to come up here to our paragraph grouping. Let's click on the down arrow. And we are going to define new bullet. And under here, we're going to select picture. And we're going to, from file, we're going to browse. And from our downloads folder, so let's go to our downloads. Right here, we should see W07G Imagination Bullet. Let's go ahead and click on that. You can use any picture for in the future, and you're doing your own documents. You can use any picture that you want. But for this, we're going to use this Imagination Bullet and hit Insert. Notice how it puts the picture in there for us. Let's go ahead and hit OK. And now notice we have our own custom bullets there. Now it wants us to press Control Home. So hold down the Control key, hit Home, which takes us to the top of the document. For Mac users, if you want, you can just scroll to the top of the document and put your cursor there. It wants us to remove the picture bullets from the library, so we're going to come up here to our paragraph grouping. We're going to click the down arrow next to bullets. We're going to right click on the bullet library here and hit remove. And that'll get rid of the bullets so they're not there for the next time we create a document. Now it says from the developer tab, display the macros dialog box, and then click all active templates and documents. So let's go ahead and go to our developer tab here. And let's go ahead and click on macros. And we should have our header macro. We are going to go ahead and delete it. So click on it and delete it. So we're going to go ahead and delete our macro. So we showed you how to create one. Now we're showing you how to delete it. We can go ahead and hit close. We also want to remove the developer tab from the ribbon. That's easy. We go back up here to our file tab. Go all the way down to options. From our Word options, let's click on Customize Ribbon and uncheck the Developer tab. Uncheck it and hit OK. And now the Developer tab will disappear. Now we want to go to our document properties. So let's go to our File tab here. Go down to Info. Show All Properties. Under tags, let's go ahead and type in all lowercase letter, comma, space, graphics. In the subject box, let's type in CGS. And where it says Go Series, right click on Go Series, hit Remove Person, and then add an author, go ahead and type in your name. And now let's save our document. Now step number 9 tells us that we cannot submit a macro-enabled document for grading. So we have to resave this as a regular Word document. So let's go to the File tab here and hit Save As. Go ahead and leave everything the same. Let's just change this Word macro enabled document. Let's change it back to a Word document and hit Save. Most likely you're going to get this box that says the file already exists. Do you want to replace file, save changes with a different name, or merge? We want to replace. So make sure you have the dot next to replace existing file and hit OK. And now we've saved this back as a regular non-macro enabled document. So I'm going to go ahead and save it again for good measure. We can go ahead and minimize this. Once we come back to our assignment, we can exit out of this. We're going to choose our file. Go to the Downloads folder. Now notice you are going to have two park letters. One is I'm going to go ahead and make my type bigger. One is a macro enabled document. The other one is just a regular Word document. Make sure you select the regular Word document. If you select the macro enabled document, it will not let you submit it. So if you get an error message, go ahead and go back in here and reselect the correct file. Hit Open, Upload, and Submit for grading. And we'll go ahead and close out of our assignment here. If you click on this button, it doesn't work. You can just come up here to our tab and exit out of that tab. We're going to click on the three dots to see how well we did. Hit View Submissions. And it looks like I received a 100%. You can click on the submission and see what you got right and what you got wrong, and you can fix anything that you need to fix. Well, that concludes this particular walkthrough. I'll be working on the future walkthroughs this week. Like always, have a wonderful day.